Hey guys, and welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for joining us today. Today is day 13 of RV Cooking with Angie, and we actually have Lou's family over. Her sister came to camp with us so that they can spend their birthday together. And her sister's husband is vegetarian, so I'm gonna cook something vegetarian for all of us, keeping the theme of this whole season that we've been doing. I'm doing minimal ingredients, a quick recipe, and super easy. So let me show you what it is that we're going to be making. Let's check out the tiny kitchen that I have back here. All right, so we're going to keep this one pan. So I have my pan out. I've got 2 cans of mushrooms. This is pieces and stems. When this is just for me and Lou, I just do 1, not necessarily 2, but there's 4 of us. I'll be using some spaghetti sauce, not the whole can, just a little bit, probably even like half of it. We'll see. We're going to play that by ear. I have pre-packaged gnocchi. This is potato gnocchi. And originally we used to boil it, but we never really loved the texture of it. We thought it was gummy and chewy. So after that, Lou looked into alternative ways of making it, and you can actually roast them in the oven or pan fry them, and it's so much better. So we'll be pan frying this. We'll be basically pan frying it and drenching it in butter. I have a stick of unsalted butter here. And then seasonings, we'll be using pink salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. So let's get to cooking. So first things first, let's get the stove turned on. I'm going to put it on a medium. And let's throw about half a stick of butter in here. You can use olive oil. You can use grapeseed oil. Just make sure whatever you use, it handles high heat really well. I was tempted to use my ghee because clarified butter is the best. But I know Lou doesn't really care for ghee that much, the flavor of it. So instead, I'll just be using this butter. So there's half a stick for now. We might add a second one. As this starts to melt down, I'll go ahead and throw in the gnocchi and then season the gnocchi. So these are vacuum sealed. There's no liquid in here, so no need to drain it in any way. I'm going to go ahead and open up the package. And be ready to dump in. Gnocchi's so pretty, isn't it? All right, that melted down enough. Let's go ahead and throw them in. This may be too many for my little pan because we definitely want them to brown, but I've never made 2 packages at once. I've always just done 1 package, so I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. But it's gonna have to do. Add some salt since my butter is unsalted. We're gonna add some garlic powder and some onion powder. And stir it around so that the seasoning and the butter can coat them all. And then we're just gonna basically let them fry until they get golden. As many of them as possible to get nice and golden. I wonder if I should have done it in batches. Done one and then done the other. Okie dokie. I think we're good. I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit so that whatever's touching the pan can get nice and seared and brown. Stir it around so that other pieces can get nice and seared and brown. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and open the mushrooms and drain them out. Back to the gnocchi now that all the cans are open. Yes, some of these are looking nice and seared. I feel comfortable taking the gnocchi out already. There's a whole bunch of little pieces that, you know, has got a nice charred bits around it. It's looking good. So I'm going to take it out just so that I can start cooking down the mushrooms. And then after that, we can go ahead and throw this back in with the mushrooms and the sauce. All right. I'm going to throw the mushrooms in just to basically start getting as much liquid out of them as possible. And we're going to season the mushrooms the exact same way. I'm going to add some pink salt to it. I'm going to add some onion powder to it. Some garlic, which I'm tempted to mince garlic and throw it in. That would be so good, but I kind of want to keep this minimal. And some black pepper, so that I'm not adding too much work to myself. But some onions and garlic would be amazing in here. We're going to let this cook down until most of the liquid is out, and then I'm going to throw in the sauce. Which, after seeing how much gnocchi it's in there, I think I'm going to do the entire can after all. I know all the liquid is out when I start hearing it like pop and sizzle, because then that means that the mushrooms are starting to toast up now that all the liquid is out of it. So since all the liquid is out, I'm just going to give it another 2 minutes so that they can also start to sear a little bit, and then at that point I'll go ahead and throw the sauce in. Press down so that they're all touching the pan so that they can get nice and seared. We are good. You can even see the pan getting little bits and pieces on it. So let's throw in this sauce. I love this sauce. It's very sweet. So then you get the savory from whatever ingredients you're throwing in it, and then you get the sweet from the sauce. Oh, it's so good. The sauce coat the mushrooms and get nice and warm, and then we can throw the gnocchi in with it. I'm going to cover it because I do not want it to splatter and make a mess. And let that cook for another couple more minutes. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. Let's uncover this. And let's throw the gnocchi in it. Let's give it a stir. Most of that liquid's already gone. nice and coated. I'm going to be serving this alongside a salad, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of leftovers so that they can always serve themselves seconds if they want seconds. I'm going to cover this and leave it off to the side while I finish working on the salad, and I will tune in with you when it's time to serve. Let's cover this. Turn it off. There we go. Let's move it off the heat. Where's my ball? Heat is off. Stove is off. That's moved off the heat. Covering it so that the steam will keep it nice and hot. And let me finish working on the salad. Salad is done. So we have a spring mix topped with cucumber, tomato, and radishes, and that will be topped with this 3-cheese vinaigrette from Aldi's. So I am gonna wait on them to arrive to go ahead and serve the gnocchi so that it's nice and hot. and then we're ready to chow down. Okay, so I don't want to be rude, and let me see here. Let me get a fork. This fork. I don't want to be rude and bust out the camera in their faces so that we can all do a taste test together like I've been doing with Lou. So I'm going to just do a taste test of the gnocchi here with you, and let's see. So make sure I get some mushroom and a gnocchi that's nice and coated. Let me show you a little close-up of it. This is super steamy. This is more than likely going to get coated with Parmesan cheese. And I like to add EVOO to mine just because I like the extra fattiness of it. So I'll offer it to them too, see if they want any or not. But the mushrooms are still perfectly plumped since I didn't overcook it. I'm just cooking until all the moisture comes out, and a little bit longer to sear. But that mushroom, oh my god, it didn't even taste the gnocchi from how good the mushroom is, and then the sweetness of that sauce. So I'm just gonna get a gnocchi by itself. It's airy and pillowy. It's not as chewy as it is when you boil it. I find usually when we boil it, it's very gummy. But that's not the case here. They're not here yet, and I want to go for another bite. Okay, let me go for one that has a little sear on it. And then I'm going to stop. Let me cover this. I'm obviously hungry. That one with the sear is the best because it has that crunchy layer on the top and then the softness. Awesome. If you haven't fried gnocchi before, definitely fry it or pan roast it. You won't regret it. It's going to be the best ever. And definitely add whatever toppings you want. I could have added some tomato to it and some kale to it. I don't have kale. But that's what I would typically do, is add tomato and kale to the mushrooms when I make it vegetarian style for Lou. If I'm not making it vegetarian style, then add some meat sauce, add some meatballs, add some ham. Like, the possibilities are endless. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below. What do you add to your gnocchi? Might inspire me to try it a different way also. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We will still have, what, like almost another 15, 16, 17 days of cooking. Daily vlogs here in the RV with me. And then after that, you'll be following along with us on our trip from Florida to Washington State and doing tons of adventures and exploring new places. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.